Hey, everybody. We're here today with University School Manager Dan Rovetto. Danny, welcome in.
Hey, Ann, how are you today? Thanks for having me.
No problem. Let's get started right off the bat with what your university team is doing this year. When you took over, you vowed to bring the program back, but did you expect for it to happen this fast?
Quite honestly, no. I mean, we've made some really, really good strides from when, we first spoke a year and a half ago, I believe, when I took the job, getting it back organized. We had 5 players in the program, and to be able to, attract good quality student athletes was, number one, but obviously the talent that we were able to attract as well, in particular with the young kids. So it's been something that's really kind of just taken off on us. I had a good feeling it would, but being quite frank with you, I did not expect it to happen this quickly.
So part of this process is you're coaching your son. That's a challenge that many coaches have, especially coaches who have had a lot of success as a player, as you have. Through the years, I've seen great coaches melt down when coaching their sons.
Mm-hmm.
Great guys that just couldn't handle, the pressure of dealing with their sons. But and then others who've played pro ball who still couldn't navigate that. So what's your approach to that, and how do you handle that dynamic?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've picked a lot of people's brains about how to go about this. Jerry Albert being one of them, was a good friend of mine. John McCormick at FAU, all types of people from different backgrounds, Coach McQuaid even. Part of my reason for coming back is, it was pretty honest, was to spend more time with my son, to see his process. I missed a lot of his stuff throughout the years, being on the road, scouting, things like that. So, I'm do the best I can to, when we get in the car or we're at family dinner, to turn it off, focus on just being a father first and foremost. And it's challenging. There's no doubt about it. But I think that, the times where he said to me, after last year, "Hey, Dad, thanks for all you did. Like, this was a really great experience for me and my friends," that puts things into perspective for me. And as long as we can both stay grounded, know what we're trying to accomplish, which is to build a program, get kids to college, help him get to college, obviously, as well. If we stay on the path of doing what we do, with our work ethic, our family values and things like that, we're going to be fine. Me and Rocco, we have a pretty good relationship, and it's our goal to keep it baseball when it's baseball. I'm coach, and when I'm home, it's dad.
So you went from a pretty successful playing career to a coach, to a scout, back to coaching again.
Mhm.
Describe seeing the high school game down here in South Florida from all those different lenses, and how you have to view the game differently in each of those lenses.
Yeah, as a player, we're going back to, I graduated in 2000, so the landscape was a bit different. I do believe in that time, the public schools were, at least in Broward County, there was a lot of dominance at that time. As we've gone throughout the years, for whatever reason, the private schools have become a lot more relevant, I should say. And, as a player, it was always about, giving my best effort for Coach McQuaid, meaning he raised me, he helped me become a man. So, for me, it was always about making sure that I did everything that he asked me to do. And of course, I was able to have some success throughout my career, helped me get to college, helped me get an education out of it. Coming back to coaching, first job was at Chaminade with Paul Herford, who's my current boss at University School. He kind of gave me the background of how to run a program outside of what I learned from Coach McQuaid as a player. Paul is a mentor to me still to this day, not just in baseball, but in athletic administration, which is what I do during the day, being an AD with him. So, he taught me a lot about the private schools and how we operate maybe differently from public schools, and the expectations. And then going into scouting, it was completely different, because there's no true relationships with players anymore. It's about, making evaluations, getting to know family backgrounds, and then submitting your report. And if the money's right and it works out where you place the dollar value in the draft based upon the player, great. If it doesn't, hey, we move on to the next player. Within coming back, I think my experience in scouting not only helps me obviously evaluate players, that are on our team, but pick up on some stuff maybe that help us in the dugout with other teams very quickly, or going to see a game in advance of an opponent and understanding what we have to do to maybe expose that opponent, beat that opponent. So that's really helped me, on all aspects of the game. But, along with that, there's no doubt that our success is not just based upon, me in the dugout. Carl Andrietta, a longtime pitching coach. I was Carl's bat boy at Miramar High School in 1990 when my brother played there. Carl, recruiting coordinator at Broward Junior College, longtime coach, is our pitching coach. Johnny Broderick, Lynn University graduate, Piper alumni, Broward County. He was also the head coach at Broward Junior College. Johnny works on campus now full-time. He's a PE teacher. We were able to get him. So our staff, assisting me, run the program. I honestly think we have a pretty good leg up on most staffs and understanding how to evaluate and get the most out of kids.
Me and you have talked through the years, and I know we share similar feelings on the importance of athletes diversifying, playing different sports as youth and in high school. What can you say to the parent that thinks their child has to play baseball 12 months a year?
I could say you're absolutely wrong. I could say that I would argue with you till my face turns blue. I bumped into Ryan Shealy a few weeks ago, and Ryan is a graduate of Cardinal Gibbons, if people don't know. Ryan, in my opinion, is the last true three-sport athlete in Broward County. All-American tight end, all-state power forward, third-round draft pick of the Colorado Rockies. Our discussion was basically, diversifying your athleticism is so important in our game. Kids become robotics nowadays in lessons and all that type of stuff. Different sports promote different type of movements in our body. They promote different skill sets. They promote a different toughness, in my opinion, especially for the football kids. And as you know, I love two-sport kids. I loved them when I was scouting. I love them to this day. And I think that, we're talking about our program, 50% of our program plays varsity football. And I love that. I mean, I think we have some high-level baseball kids that are getting a great experience. I think we have another one in Broward County that most not know about in American Heritage. Jordan Rich is going to be a heck of a football and heck of a baseball player. So these are kids that, in my scouting background, I'm looking for athletes. Athletes win. If you have aptitude and you have athleticism, they win. So on our roster, I look at a guy like Braden Potter in center field, plays in the slot for us, great wide receiver, tough, can run, can throw on the baseball field. Those guys are the high level athletes. Those are the guys that go in the draft. And if you think that just focusing on one thing, take a look at the history of the draft. Most of those guys played multiple sports in high school.
And you've hit on it, so many good points there. I mean, a couple of them I'm going to try to follow up on. First is the actual diversity that these athletes get, where, they might be getting to be better baseball players in their 4 years if they just play baseball. But, 5 or 10 years when they look back and they think, man, I could have done something in football. I could have done something in soccer, or at least enjoyed playing those sports as a high school. And you guys are a great example of a team that, has your fall messed up because your kids are playing other sports, and you guys are sitting here at 11-2 or 11-3. So you're showing that it can be done, and that you don't have to be baseball 24 hours a day to be successful.
100%. I mean, in the pro baseball world, these guys get done in September. They're taking 2-3 months off to recover. From the health standpoint of, listen, down here, we know we could play baseball 365 days a year if it's not raining. Temperature wise, it works there. Our kids get done with football. Let's call it Thanksgiving time. If we're doing our job as a staff, there's no reason we can't get them ready for practice by January 15th with the throwing program, with the weight room and all that stuff. So I would argue all day with anybody that says that you have to play baseball year round. I don't think it's even healthy for kids to play baseball year round, just based upon what we're dealing with arm injuries. And I would argue the fact that a kid that plays baseball year round has a lot bigger risk of getting injured arm-wise than he does playing football for 3 months a year. I'll take my
Sure.
risks.
And people forget about the mental aspect of it. And you hit on a little bit about how these kids become almost robots this year, these days, over the course of several years. They're just robots, and everything is just mechanical to them. And I've said that for a long time, where I think kids today lose the joy of playing baseball. You know, a lot of I get parents all the time. You know, we run our futures games, we run some of our off-season stuff, and people say, well, there's not as many scouts there. And right up front, I tell them, listen, our events are geared towards your kids coming and having a fun weekend of baseball. Like, that's what we're trying to do with our events, is keep it fun for these kids. And that's a tough line for coaches to balance, because they want professionalism. They want it to be run like a college program. But at the same time, how do you allow these kids to just be kids and enjoy baseball again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, if you ask a parent, hey, do you know what a college fall looks like? Like, I ask parents that all the time. Do you have an idea? How many games do they play at FAU in the fall? 3. You know, they're not playing baseball. They're inter squatting. They're working in the weight room. They're working on skill development. The NCAA only allows so many games in the fall because it takes away from your games in the spring. That's fact. So people think that when they get to college, they're going to play this large fall schedule. It's exactly the opposite. It's small group work. It's called individual time, which is mandated by the NCAA of how many hours a week, countable hours. So you're not actually playing games, Anthony. You're working on certain skills. You're getting stronger in the weight room, and you're developing, you know, your process to be ready in January to be healthy.
So this follow-up question I had prepared, but it kind of follows up this discussion. But if you can make one change to the state of high school baseball today, what would it be?
The state of change that it would be is that I would give people much more. I would give more schools more freedom in scheduling, and actually add more games into the thing, like states like Alabama and things like that. There's much more games to be played. And I say that not because I want to play a ton of games, but that gives us a more realistic opportunity to evaluate teams as a whole, like playing a series. You know what I mean? You're gonna, you know, we all run into one good arm on here and there, and listen, we know how that goes. But if you play a 2 out of 3 series, generally speaking, you're going to get the better team to come out with the win. So that's what I would propose. I know Matt Cleveland has been on this. Who Matt's a Broward County guy. He's up at in the New Smyrna area. We're hoping to actually make some changes. Todd Fitzgerald is part of this at Douglas, to where maybe we can go more to a dates system. And the dates system is you could play a doubleheader, like a 3-game series, a Friday night and a Saturday doubleheader, but it only counts as 2 dates. And that way we're trying to figure out who the best team is, rather than the best guy on Tuesday night that your school's running out there.
Right, right. So we're going to shift away from baseball here. We talk, you know, often about stuff off the field baseball. We grew up very similar Italian backgrounds.
Absolutely.
One thing I know about you is, and you've discussed it already today, is that when it's time to put baseball away and focus on the family, you can turn that switch on and off, as hard as it may be. But do you think that's a dying breed these days?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the dinner table is a dying breed these days in general, you know, and I think a lot of that comes from just the way our society is, you know, staying on the baseball front, kids playing travel baseball more now and at a younger age, and you can't sit down and eat dinner on Tuesday night. You know, we've talked candidly, like Sunday nights, nothing's going on in this house besides Sunday dinner, you know what I mean? And we're cooking, and whether it's cutlets or you know, Sunday gravy, we're doing it every Sunday. You got to have some values, and you got to be able to, that's the way I was raised. And I feel like, you know, it's hard. I get it. It's hard, especially coaching in season, but we got to make some time for food and family, basically.
Sure. So I know you love the Keys, as I do. Going down to Key West, incredible atmosphere, unmatched really in anything I've seen in high school baseball. How much a part of your retirement plans is rooted in the Keys?
I mean, it's sitting behind me. I think you can see my vision board. It's my wife's office, but the 7 Mile Bridge is right there. There's one in my office, that same thing. I'm like what you call a saltwater conch, basically. I'm not from there, but I have a lot of friends and people I would consider family down there. That is in my plans. There's no doubt about it. I've made that loud and clear. I think the baseball community down there is fantastic. The history that they have. That's one of the last old school places that we talk about. The outdoor weight room, the clank, we're going to show up and we're going to work our tails off and wait for somebody to come in town, and then we're going to beat their behinds. I love that. I love that mentality. I love what they do down there. I just think that place is a really, really special place, both on and off the field. But what they're doing baseball wise, you can see, the progress they've made in the last few years, getting that program rebuilt up. They got some special talent down there. And what we've been able to do to help those kids, when I was in pro ball, the Monroe County Scout Day, that we've created, it's not just for the kids of Key West. Obviously, we have kids from Marathon, kids from Coral Shores. Doug Mankiewicz is doing what he's doing now at the Shores. The Keys are a special place to me. It's on my vision board. It's going to be part of my life here. I'm excited for that portion of it.
So when I started HSBN, it was 13 years ago. I was young and in my 30s. You were even younger than me.
Yep.
But now I feel like we're kind of the fossils in today's high school game. I'm watching all these young coaches come up, and what has that transition been like for you to have that enthusiasm as a youngster, and now you're getting older and you're kind of seeing young guys come up and with all these grand ideas and different ways of doing things. Talk about that a little bit.
I think that like anything else, the game evolves, life evolves. As long as we stick to our foundation of what we believe is right in high school baseball and within our programs. I was thinking today as I was, getting ready to have this conversation about our first conversation when I was at Coral Springs Charter and we did this. And it was like, wow, how long ago was that? How much has happened in our lives? And, but I do remember in that conversation, I brought up people like George Pettick, Ed Waters, all these guys that are legends in Broward County. And it's like, hey, let's not forget about these guys. You're up in the Springs area. Let's not forget about Tom Heisel at Creek and all these people that helped build this game. Most of these people don't even know that these people exist. And they are the foundation of what Broward County baseball is, in my opinion. We're just following behind them. And then to your point, people are following behind us. But you look at some longevity. I mean, current day, you got to have a lot of respect for what Joe Giamulli's doing. You got to have a lot of respect for what Todd Fitzgerald's doing. These people have been doing it for a long time in Broward County. And Brian Lupkert at Nova High School, longtime assistant, taking over a program. Yes, these people are friends of mine, but they have longevity and they have my respect more than anything. And respect in this game is earned. It's not given. And so to your point, the new people that are coming in, I like that. I think that I hope that they're as passionate about this county as I am. And I hope they're as passionate about what we're representing, the players, the programs, the past, as I am.
All right, we're going to finish off with some word association. I'll give you a word or a few words. You give me the first thing that pops into your mind.
Yes, sir.
Launch angle.
Horrible.
The high school season.
Challenging.
Coach McQuaid.
Leader.
Italian food.
Weight issues.
Your family.
My heart.
And travel baseball.
The worst thing that's happened in this game.
The last one is going to be a question I get all these coaches out of here on these Sunday morning chats. You can win a state title this year and it becomes the end of your coaching career, or no state title and you got 10 more years of coaching. Which one are you choosing?
It depends on if I'm in the Keys or not. I'll take the 10 years.
Awesome. Well, it's always great talking to you, Danny. You become a good friend of me and HSBN through the years, and we wish you guys a lot of success the rest of the year.
Go Canes tomorrow night. Big one for us.
Go Canes.
Yeah,
Have a good one.
thank you.